Ladies and gentlemen, there was a time when you were just an option in someone's life. You were the afterthought, the backup plan, the convenience when it suited them. You sat there waiting for them to make up their mind, hoping they would finally see your worth. But they didn't, until now. There comes a moment in life when someone who once treated you as an option suddenly realizes what they had. At first, they were comfortable knowing you were always there, always available, always willing to understand their excuses. They never truly considered the weight of their actions because in their mind you were a constant, something that wouldn't change, something that would always be around. But then something shifts. You stop waiting. You stop tolerating. You stop allowing yourself to be placed second, and you choose to walk away. That's when the power of realization sets in. It's in the absence that people begin to see the presence of what they took for granted. They begin to recognize what they once dismissed as ordinary was actually extraordinary. They remember the love you gave without conditions, the patience you showed when they were inconsistent, and the loyalty you displayed even when they were unsure. And now they feel the pain, not just of losing you, but of realizing they had something rare and let it slip away. In the Bible, we are said that what we sow, we will also reap. When someone sows carelessness, neglect, or indifference into a relationship, they will eventually reap the pain of loss. The same heart they once ignored now leaves a void in their life. And they begin to long for what they once had. But here's the truth. Realization without action is regret. Some people don't wake up until it's too late. They don't see what was in front of them until it's no longer available to them. God allows these moments of realization to serve as a lesson not just for them, but also for you. Sometimes we hold on to people because we want them to change. We think that if we love them enough, if we prove our worth enough, they will finally see it. But in the Bible, we are said that God is not the author of confusion. And a love that requires you to constantly prove your value is not the love God designed for you. Realization is powerful, but it is not a reason to turn back. When someone finally sees your worth, it does not mean they are ready to honor it. It simply means they are now aware of what they lost. The pain they feel now is not your burden to carry. It is their lesson to learn. You were never meant to be in a position where someone had to lose you to appreciate you. You were meant to be valued from the start. And when God removes someone from your life, it is not to punish you, it is to protect you from settling for less than what He has planned. There are moments in life when we question why things had to happen the way they did. We wonder why someone who once meant everything to us could so easily take us for granted. Why they didn't see our worth when we were right in front of them. Why they only realized it after we walked away. But what we often fail to see in the middle of our pain is that God's timing is always perfect. He allows certain things to happen not to break us, but to build us into the person He has called us to be. In the Bible, we are said that all things work together for the good of those who love God. That means even the heartbreak, the rejection, the moments of feeling overlooked, they all serve a purpose. At the time, it may have felt like a loss. It may have seemed unfair that you gave so much and received so little in return. But what you didn't see was that God was working behind the scenes. He was protecting you from something you thought you wanted. He was setting the stage for something greater than you ever imagined. Sometimes God allows people to walk away because He knows they are not part of the future He has planned for you. He sees what you cannot see. He hears conversations you were never meant to hear. He knows the hearts of people, even when they are able to disguise their intentions from you. And so, when someone treats you as an option, when they fail to see your worth, God is not punishing you, He is revealing the truth. He is allowing them to make their choice so that you can make yours. In the Bible, we are said that God is not slow in keeping His promises, but He works according to His own time. This means that even when it seems like justice is delayed, even when it feels like they are moving on without consequences, God is still in control. He allows them to feel the pain of their own choices at the right moment, not when you want, but when it serves His purpose. There is a divine order to everything, and sometimes the same people who once overlooked you will have to watch God bless you in ways they never expected. You may not see it now, But every delay, every closed door, every moment of being treated as an option was God's way of redirecting you towards something better. He allows the right people to enter your life at the right time. And when He does, it is not your job to question it, chase after them, or wait for their realization. It is your job to trust that His timing is never wrong, and what He has ahead of you is far greater than anything you thought you lost. There is a time for everything, and sometimes that includes a time for people to realize what they lost. It may feel frustrating to see someone wake up to your worth only after you've moved on, but nothing happens outside of God's perfect timing. He is not a God of accidents. Every moment, every situation, every heartbreak serves a purpose, even if we don't understand it right away. What you thought was a delay was actually divine alignment. What you thought was rejection was actually protection. And what seemed like an unfair situation was really God allowing you to see who and what was never meant to stay. In the Bible, we are said that God makes everything beautiful in its time. That means even the pain of being treated as an option, even the confusion of why someone didn't value you when they had you, is being used for a greater purpose. Sometimes God allows a person to feel the pain of their own choices at the exact moment they need to feel it. Not when you demand justice, not when you want closure, but when it serves His plan. There are people who will only understand what they lost when they see you flourishing without them. There are people who will only realize the weight of their mistakes when they watch you walk in the blessings they were never able to appreciate. And when that moment comes, it is not about revenge, it is about revelation. When God is involved, nothing is random. The reason they feel the pain now is because their moment of realization was always a part of the plan. Just as there was a season when you had to sit with your own pain, wondering why things happened the way they did, they must now sit with theirs. This is why in the Bible we are said that God is just and that He will not allow unfairness to go unanswered. But justice is not always about seeing someone suffer for what they did to you. Sometimes justice is simply watching God remove you from the situation and elevate you in ways they never expected. It's not your job to make them feel what you felt. It's not your job to prove to them that they lost someone valuable. That is God's work, and He does it in His own time. He allows people to see the truth when it benefits His purpose, not your emotions. And when He does, you don't have to look back. You don't have to wonder if their pain means they've changed, because just as God allows them to feel the weight of their choices, He is also positioning you for something far greater. He is moving you forward while they stay stuck in what they lost. And that is why His timing is always perfect, even when we don't understand it in the moment. There is a moment when you realize that you were never meant to be an option. You were never created to be someone's second choice, backup plan, or last-minute decision. You were designed to be valued, cherished, and prioritized. Yet for a time, you found yourself waiting to be chosen, waiting to be seen, waiting for someone to recognize your worth. But the truth is, your worth was never something that needed to be proven to someone who couldn't see it from the start. When someone treats you like an option, it is not a reflection of your value, but of their inability to recognize it. In the Bible, we are said that God has called us to be set apart, not to be placed in situations where we have to fight for recognition. When God chooses someone, He does not hesitate. He does not treat them as a temporary decision or an afterthought. That same standard applies to the relationships in our lives. If someone truly values you, they will not put you in a position where you have to constantly question where you stand. The ones who see your worth will not need to lose you to realize it. When you were stuck in a cycle of being treated as an option, it may have felt like love, but it wasn't. Love does not leave you uncertain. Love does not make you feel like you are constantly competing for attention. Love does not put you in a place where you are only wanted when it's convenient. In the Bible, we are said that love is patient and kind, but it is also intense. It does not leave room for confusion. It does not place you in a position where you feel like you have to earn your place in someone's life. God will always remove you from a situation that is beneath what He has planned for you. He does not allow you to remain where you are merely tolerated instead of being valued. That is why when you finally stop accepting less, when you finally walk away from being treated as an option, you are not losing, you are gaining. You are stepping into the life that God always intended for you. You are aligning yourself with the love, respect, and honor that were already a part of His plan. There will come a time when those who once treated you as an option will look back and regret it. They will see you walking in God's blessings, living in the fullness of what they never appreciated. They will realize too late that they placed you on a list when you were meant to be the priority. And when that happens, you won't have to prove anything to them, because by then you will have already stepped into the life that was always meant for you, a life where you are not just chosen but cherished. Pain is a teacher that speaks in ways comfort never can. When you were overlooked, dismissed, or treated as an option, it may have felt like rejection, but in reality, it was a lesson. It was God's way of showing you who truly valued you and who only kept you around for convenience. It was a season where you had to learn that love should not be something you have to earn, prove, or beg for. It was a time when God allowed you to experience disappointment, not to break you, but to build you into someone who knows their worth. In the Bible, we are said that trials produce perseverance, and perseverance builds character. The pain you felt in that situation was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to refine you. It was meant to open your eyes to the truth, to strip away illusions, and to teach you that being chosen by the wrong person is not a blessing, it's a distraction. It was necessary for you to go through the hurt, because without it, you might have continued settling for less than what God had planned for you. When someone realizes your worth too late, they begin to experience the pain of regret. They sit in the discomfort of knowing they had something valuable but failed to cherish it. That pain is not just emotional, it is spiritual. It is the weight of their own choices coming back to them. In the Bible, we are said that whatever a person sows, they will also reap. If they sowed neglect, they will reap loss. If they sowed inconsistency, they will reap instability. And if they took love for granted, they will feel the absence of what they once had. Just as they now feel the pain, you once felt it too. You know what it's like to wonder why you weren't enough for them, why they couldn't see your worth, why they only realized it when you were gone. But the pain you experienced became the very thing that set you free. It made you stronger. It gave you clarity. It helped you understand that your value was never tied to their ability to recognize it. The very thing that hurt you is what pushed you to grow, to heal, and to step into the life God had for you. Pain has a way of changing people. It forces them to reflect, to see their mistakes, to understand the consequences of their actions. But just because they now feel the pain does not mean you need to go back. What you learned through your suffering was not in vain. It was a lesson that brought you closer to God, closer to your purpose, and closer to the love and life you were always meant to have. The pain they feel now is their lesson to learn, just as yours was for you. Your worth was never in their hands. It was never something for them to decide, to measure, or to validate. For too long, you may have allowed someone's inconsistency, their inability to choose you, or their failure to appreciate you to make you question yourself. You may have wondered if you needed to change, to be more patient, to lower your standards, or to accept less than what you deserve, just to be loved the way you wanted. But the truth is, your value was never tied to their recognition of it. It was always rooted in something far greater. In the Bible, we are said that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. That means your worth was established before anyone had an opinion about you. Before someone mistreated you, before they overlooked you, before they made you feel like you were replaceable, God had already spoken over your life. He had already declared that you were set apart, chosen, and deeply loved. And when God calls something valuable, no human opinion can change that truth. It is easy to feel like someone's rejection defines you. When you give your heart to someone, when you invest in them, when you believe in their potential, and they still fail to see your worth, it can feel like a personal failure. But in the Bible, we are said that the stone the builders rejected became the cornerstone. That means even when people fail to see your value, it does not take away from what God has already placed inside of you. It means that their inability to appreciate you is not a reflection of your worth, but of their blindness. Some people will only understand what they had once it's gone. They will only realize the love they received when they can no longer access it. They will only feel the weight of their actions when they are forced to live without the presence they once took for granted. But that is not your burden to carry. The same way you once had to heal from the pain of being undervalued, they now have to sit with the pain of realizing what they lost. In the Bible, we are said that God is just, and He will not allow His children to be discarded without consequence. When someone fails to treat a blessing with care, they eventually feel the absence of what they misused. Your value was never dependent on their ability to see it. It was never something that changed based on how someone treated you. It remained the same before, during, and after their realization. And that is why you do not need to go back. You do not need to give them another chance to determine your worth, because they never had that power to begin with. Your worth has always been in God's hands, and He has already prepared something far greater than what you once settled for. Forgiveness is not about giving someone permission to hurt you again. It is about releasing yourself from the weight of what they did. It is not about justifying their actions or pretending that the pain they caused didn't matter. It is about understanding that carrying resentment only holds you back. You may have been an option to them, but that does not mean you have to live in bitterness because of it. The moment they failed to see your worth, the moment they took you for granted, they made a choice. And now it is your choice whether you remain trapped in the pain of the past or step into the freedom that God has for you. In the Bible, we are said that we should forgive others just as God has forgiven us. That does not mean allowing people back into your life who have proven they do not value you. It does not mean pretending everything is fine and ignoring the hurt. It means releasing the anger, the disappointment, and the need for them to make it right. Some people will never apologize. Some will never truly understand what they did. But your healing does not depend on their apology. It depends on your decision to move forward. They may now feel the pain of losing you. They may now realize what they once dismissed. They may now understand that they let something valuable slip away. But that does not mean they deserve to return. In the Bible, we are said that when God delivers us from something, we should not go back to it. When He reveals the truth about someone's character, it is not for us to ignore. Forgiveness does not mean returning to what broke you. It means learning from the experience and trusting that God has something better ahead. There will be moments when the past calls you back, when the memories make you second-guess your decision, when the regret in their voice tempts you to believe that maybe things could be different this time. But in the Bible, we are said that a person's true nature is revealed by their actions, not just their words. If they only realized your worth after you left, it was never love, it was loss. Love sees value from the beginning. Loss only understands it when it's too late. Forgive them, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Let go of the need for closure, for explanations, for validation. What they feel now is between them and God. What you have ahead of you is greater than what you left behind. Your future is not behind you, it is in front of you. God is not calling you back to what hurt you. He is calling you forward into something that will honor, cherish, and celebrate you the way He always intended. Moving forward is not just about walking away from what hurt you. It is about stepping into what God has prepared for you. It is easy to get stuck in the past, replaying conversations, wondering if things could have been different, questioning why they didn't. See your worth soon. But the truth is, if they were meant to honor you, they would have. If they were meant to cherish you, they would not have needed to lose you first. Their realization now does not mean you need to turn around. It means God has already turned the page. In the Bible, we are said that when God opens a door, no one can shut it, and when He closes a door, no one can reopen it. That means when He removes someone from your life, it is for a reason. When He allows someone to overlook you, it is not a mistake, it is protection. When He lets someone treat you as an option, it is not because you were unworthy, but because they were never meant to carry the blessing of you into the future He has planned. Some people were only part of the lesson, not part of the destiny. You are not going backward. You are not shrinking yourself to fit into places where you were never truly valued. You are not waiting for someone to finally choose you when God has already chosen you for something greater. In the Bible, we are said that His plans for us are good, plans to prosper us and not to harm us, to give us a hope and a future. That means what is ahead is far greater than what is behind. The pain you endured, the lessons you learned, the tears you cried were not in vain. They were preparing you for something more. Now is the time to release the weight of their regret. Now is the time to let go of the idea that their realization changes anything. Because the truth is, their pain is not your responsibility. Their regret is not your burden. What they feel now is a result of their choices, not your worth. The moment they treated you as an option, they forfeited the privilege of having you as a priority. And God does not call you to go back to something He has already set you free from. Moving forward is an act of faith. It is trusting that God is leading you into something better. It is believing that He is positioning you for a love that will not hesitate, a purpose that will not require you to beg for recognition, a future that will reflect the worth He has placed within you. You do not have to prove anything to anyone. You do not have to wait for someone to understand what they lost. What is meant for you will find you, and when it does, it will not make you feel like an option. It will honor you the way God always intended.